So of course you have to be careful if one of them comes out and you're underwater, because of course all of a sudden it'll become buoyant. And that's what happened. They were at 25 feet, and the youngest, or our middle son, said, "Okay, Dad, I'm going to come out and take a picture." And so he comes out, and so all his weight volume was gone, and the submarine just went to the surface. And Eric's gone, "Dad, go down! I want to take a picture." So, anyways,
so then was he able to get back down?
Yeah, yeah.
Just by reducing the air inside, or?
Yeah, that would. No, I don't know.
Bleeding out the air?
With the air?
Because I mean, you're breathing the air. It's breathable air, and
yes.
You're not on scuba or anything.
No, you aren't. So, but of course you've got the air bubble on top. So I have to think about this. I'm in pharmacy. I'm not doing physics as much these days, so I tend not to think this through. I have to think it through. So let's see now. He's sitting there. So if you want to go down, well, yeah,
is there a valve where you can bleed out some air?
He could, but it's controlled too, and we're having problems with there.
Have you been in this thing?
No, and I'm not too concerned about going in.
Huh?
It's not my first choice of things. Let all the boys go in. I let our boys go in, and that's a boy toy. Okay, I'll shorthand till they get it all worked out.
Now, was this like commercially produced, or was this a one? Did they build lots of these?
The people who built it with permission from ISE, which is a submarine company up in Burnaby.
Oh.
And so they were building these. And the idea of this was why it's painted black, is they were using it to sell it to the military and harbor patrol.
Oh.
And so, unlike most of these that are built with, say, PVC piping, it's mil-spec with stainless steel piping for everything in there. So that's why it's black, where most of the sport stubs in the tropics are white or yellow to reflect it. So now then they went on to doing a 3-person version, and they were selling this, and we had the opportunity of getting it. So it was built about 10 years ago.
Is this a 3-person?
No, this is a 2-person.
Okay.
But it was built about 10 years ago, and they did the testing up at Bunsen Lake near Vancouver. And then it was basically a demo, taking it around to shows, and then they went to get rid of it, and so we bought it, and we did a couple. Watch it, yeah, in the lake, and the seals around the windows had started to leak.
So you had to do some
So
renovation.
Tim did some maintenance on there, and something else was going. Oh yeah, and the first time we were taking it down, and the second time they were having problems with air always flowing in, constant airflow, and found out that the indicator for when to put air in was set wrong. So therefore, it's an indicator that when it gets wet, then it'll cause the air to come in.
So this is a constant air replenishment, though, right? You have a constant flow.
Yes, you put the scuba tanks on, and then it has. Tim knows it better, but yeah, it's constant, but spurts. Yeah. As you go down, of course, you're going to have to put in more air
to get
the level down. So you'll have to ask Tim how he did to compensate, so that the second time when there was an excursion, it didn't pop to the surface. I haven't got all that.
Can I go in?
Yes, you can, and he'll certainly show you what does what.
Want a tour?
Can I go in? Yeah.
Go for it.
The question was, when Eric got out of the submarine and you went up.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next time, how do you need to compensate when somebody's going to leave so it doesn't pop up?
Okay, so we're in this bubble from basically the waist up.
Okay.
And so my son said, okay, I want to go out and take a photo of this. So leave it, we're just sitting lightly on the bottom. And I got it on the YouTube. If we had the time, I would have asked you to bring that up. But so we're just sitting lightly on the bottom at the time, just kind of, not really any weight, just enough settled on the bottom. I said, okay, go ahead. He says, just stay there. I want to take a photo of it on the bottom. I said, okay, fine. So out he comes through the hatch here. So right away, a slug of water comes in to replace his volume that was above the moon pool. And so, okay, that's great because the same weight is getting replaced. But the electronics say the moon pool is now risen up that amount of volume of
Oh.
this character.
Oh.
So then the electronics said that moon pool's too high, immediately added air, brought it back down to where the moon pool was set, and of course the kid isn't in the thing anymore, so boop, up we go.
Okay.
And that's what happened. So when I was in it, knowing this, I had to sitting hard on the bottom this time. And
How
I had
did you
the
do that?
Pardon?
How did you do
I
that?
raised the moon pool right up to the dash.
Oh, okay.
And then I
Put
turned
extra
the
weight.
electronics off. I turned the automatic buoyancy
Yeah.
control off. And then when I slipped out, of course, the moon pool rose up about the inch or whatever for
Yeah.
my volume. And it was still sitting the
Yeah.
same weight on the bottom. And I was in a 1/4 inch tropical wetsuit. And I wasn't wearing weights or fins. But so I was just hanging off the tail here. Starting to float up.
Yeah.
And we're about 20 feet or something like
All
that.
right, yeah.
And if I let go, I would have gone to the surface and I'd have a hard time swimming back down to the kid.
Yeah.
And he said, "Don't leave me here. I don't know how to operate this, so make sure you come back." So I'm hanging on to this thing. It's really interesting to see this from the outside. It's really fun. So then I just slipped back in. But you see, when you look on the YouTube there, you see him, he's got the GoPro in his hand.
Yeah.
And he slips out, and then you see the submarine levitate off the bottom,
Yeah.
up to the surface, and he's going, "Dad, down!"
Wow.
Yeah. I said, well, okay, we're still learning here.
But so then you adjusted the indicator thing so
Yeah,
that
that's
because
true.
it was putting too much air in all the time.
It's actually sitting up. I'll take you in there.
Okay, yeah.
And to show you how it works. Now watch your
So
back.
two of us can get in here?
Yep, absolutely. Getting in and out of this when it's in the water is really easy. You just slip in, swim in and out. It's very, very good. Easy stuff. Okay, so this is the mechanism here. So the moon pool will be wherever this is.
Oh,
And
that's
there's a-
right even, this point right here is even with
Pretty
the water.
much, that's right. So you adjust it down, and you can just see the float switch there.
Oh, I
It looks
see.
like a little brass disc. That's the top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, if the water comes up, it will detect that, and when it's on automatic, there's a little piece of electronics in there, it's a little teeny board, and then that switch will turn on this solenoid here, which will blast air out of these two mufflers,
Okay.
and it's quite noisy, and that'll bring the moon pool back down to where it was. If you're on your ascent, and then the moon pool starts to expand, you'll notice on the bottom here, beside the float switch, there are two hoses that are attached there with little hose clamps.
Yeah.
And that means the excess air will now vent out through the sides, up through these two sides.
Okay.
So if you're controlling it conservatively, the bubble will maintain itself automatically. It is possible to overpower it and go down and have the bubble shrink faster than these things can refill, or expand faster than this part can vent. But if you do it conservatively, everything's done automatically. So what you would do, like what we have here, we've got, just when we're launching, this will be right down, so the bubble's down this level. And these two, the forward, the nose ballast tank and the tail ballast tank are full of air. And then we would vent the air out and flood those tanks. This one for the nose, this one for the tail. Pardon me, this one for the tail. And that would settle the water to be about this level here, once those two tanks are flooded. So that'd be there.
The outside.
Yeah, the outside water level is now here.
Okay.
Up there.
So you're
So
on the
just-
surface now.
Yeah,
you're
well, we
saying.
were. Well, we just launched launched the boat, so
I
now
gotcha.
we're sinking down. We've flooded the two ballast tanks, and then so we then close these off, and then we would adjust this guy for a moon pool until the exterior water level was about there, and let's say for example that it's about such, and then you just power down nice and slow with thrusters.
Now does the air bleed out directly through
Yep.
here?
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
a hose?
Yeah, take a look. You have to duck down just on each side of that float switch.
Oh,
There's
I
a hose.
see.
You see a corrugated hose that goes off
Right,
to the left and
okay,
right.
so this, okay, yeah, I got you.
Yep.
And then this is for the
The thrusters, yeah.
The
And then
control